Following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Cowboys! This is Mick Shots, streaming live on DallasCowboys.com and the official Dallas Cowboys app. Now, here are Bill Jones, Savannah Humoller, Everson Walls, and Mickey Spagnola.
And it is time for the most fabulous Football Friday of the year. It's time for Mick Shots inside the SWBC.
There you go. I was wondering what was happening. I didn't want to hear you, Bill. Bill, gotta wait. You gotta wait. You gotta wait your turn. That's all honey together. Come on,
Producer Supreme. Producer Supreme, do you have any more fight songs in there? Any more fight songs? Go on. Let's hear some more.
He can dig
It's
some
a
up.
fabulous Fight Song Friday edition of Mick Shots.
Somebody out there hates us right now.
All right.
All right.
Oh, there's your Longhorn. There's a Longhorn in the studio here. And, wow, I love this day every year.
It's great.
Yep, and what a great football weekend it is. Got kick-started last night with a shocking result in the Thursday night game. I looked at my iPad.
That was shocking. That really was.
27-3 at halftime. Chicago was beating
You weren't
Washington.
watching it?
I wasn't
That was
watching
crazy.
it. No.
I watched it. I watched it.
Justin Fields.
Yeah,
Justin Fields, not Justin Fields.
No,
DJ
Moore.
55 points in fantasy. Let's go.
Oh, no. Someone's got DJ Moore on his team.
Well, I have Justin Fields, and
No,
he
there you
got,
go.
he got me
There you
37
go, Savannah.
points.
Damn it. There you go.
All right.
Only 37?
Yeah.
Jeez.
That's pretty.
I think,
pretty decent.
55 from DJ Moore is
After
great.
losing 14 consecutive games. Wow.
I did not realize it had been that long.
Somebody above was looking over the Bears.
And then somebody is also going to be looking over the Cowboys on Sunday night because they're playing an opponent who's won 14 in a row in the regular season, right?
Yes, they have.
All right. I have an idea
But
who
I don't
I'm
think-
picking on Sunday night.
I love it. We got to wait the entire day. We have to wait the entire day. Watch all that football
Watch a lot of
afternoon.
football.
Then all of a sudden, you're tired.
You
gotta
realize
pick it up again. You got to pick up your energy again for this game.
You realize the Bears did it for Dick Butkus, right?
Isn't that something?
100%.
Isn't that something? It had to be, right? It had to be. I mean, what are the odds?
Especially
You
to
guys,
play that
day,
way, right?
that day, on the road, Riverboat Ron
Yeah, on a
was,
Thursday game on the road because usually the advantage is to the home team.
and
Yeah.
they had a short week and they had to travel. That's pretty impressive win. It really was.
Well, at halftime, I was sitting there going, okay, they did this on Sunday and got beat.
Right.
And then Washington goes down and scores and
Like,
scores. And I'm going, oh, you got to be kidding me.
Because we were already counting this as a win. Everyone was
Yeah.
counting it as a win. When's the last time they won? Wow, this is amazing at halftime.
So did you play against Dick Butkus?
You are such an ass. You know that, right? That's all I got to say. That's all I got to say. That would answer your question.
We played against Dick Butkus in our kids edition of fantasy football back in the day out in the front yard. The other team had Dick Butkus at middle linebacker.
He might have
Yeah,
been.
me and Mel Renfro. Yeah, we were back there together.
The first NFL game I ever went to, Bears at home at Wrigley Field against the Detroit Lions.
Wait, Wrigley Field, the baseball team plays.
Yeah, right.
What are
yeah.
you talking about?
Wow.
The Bears squeezed in 100 yards on that field, by the way.
They squeezed it in, huh?
And we were sitting behind the goalpost at one end of the field, behind the end zone, and they were warming up, and Butkus comes walking out, and I must have been, I don't know, 13, 14 maybe. So he was a rookie in 65, so this had to be 66, 67, somewhere in there. And I thought he was the biggest human being I'd ever seen because he had them big middle linebacker shoulder pads on.
Yes.
And I'm going, holy cow, look at that, right? That was my first impression of
He
Dick
wasn't
Butkus.
just big. He could move.
Yeah.
He could move. That was scary watching him come around. Could you imagine being a running back?
No.
And you know he's going to shoot that hole? He's going to meet you in the hole.
Yeah.
Larger than life figure.
Think about that. The Bears, that 65 draft, they get Dick Butkus and then Gale Sayers in the first round.
How many playoff games they win?
None.
None.
How many they play in?
None.
What is happening? Why is that?
Well, ask me who the quarterback was.
I guess
That was
quarterbacks were important back then as well.
I think that was the problem, right?
When was Jack Kincannon there?
It would have been after that.
After that.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. That's far back as I go with my Chicago Bears
Along
quarterback
with
memory.
Bobby Douglas.
Oh, yeah, Kansas.
Of course, Bobby Douglas, yeah.
Lefty.
We can go through a lot
I
of
don't know about
quarterbacks.
lefty. He
They've
ran the ball all the time.
right.
Like I said, I didn't know what hand he was because he ran the ball all the
Never
time.
showed it.
They've been through
Never
a
showed-
lot
never showed
of
his hand.
quarterbacks. A lot of quarterbacks they went through until they won a Super Bowl.
Okay, that was our trip down.
Yes, it was.
Chicago
Sorry about that,
Bears
Savannah.
Memory lane.
I know. I like hearing it.
I think Dick Butkus deserved that.
Oh,
Yes, he did. Yes, he
Definitely,
did.
definitely. And you want to tease the text line out there? And people want to chime in?
Absolutely.
817-290-3298. If you got a question, as we are 2 days away from kickoff in Santa Clara, California, or a comment that you'd like to make about the game. And, you know, it looks like it's, just judging by the practice report yesterday, that the Cowboys could have a healthy,
Don't ruin it.
Oh, no.
Where's a piece of wood?
There's only plastic here.
Yeah, no wood.
You're holding out.
I already got chewed out by a guy that I think when he heard us talk about the starting five being ready for the Arizona game, I got the feeling that he might have put a bet on that game because he let me know. How could you miss three guys?
Well, what was the update
That's
from
what I
Jerry
said.
Jones
That's
on
what
the
I
radio this morning?
This morning looked good.
Yeah, it looks promising.
But you heard what Dak said, right? When they asked him about it, he goes, I don't think I'm answering that because the last time I said yes, things didn't go so
They don't
well.
want to jinx it
They
either.
did not.
Right?
But yesterday after the show, me and Mickey, we were out there scoping it out, and it was nice seeing them all together. So
that's
I
a
mean,
positive.
Positive signs.
So you saw it.
They
In
were in
pads.
pads.
In pads.
pads.
In
pads,
pads.
the important practice of the week, and on the practice report it said full, right?
It says
F-U-L-L.
Tyron Smith full. It says, oh, it went away.
This technology.
Yeah, right.
Where's your legal pad? Why don't you have it written down on your legal
It works better than his phone.
Even Zach Martin full. Chuma Adoga full, just in case they have to get 6 in there. So I went back and looked.
Micah Parsons.
Limited but full.
Okay.
He ain't missing.
Yeah, you know, you don't even ask.
I went back and looked.
Not this game.
The last time they had their starting five that we considered their starting five would have been the 2021 season playoff game against the San Francisco 49ers.
How
by
about
the
that?
way. Because all last season, Tyron Smith missed until Terrence Steele tore his ACL, and then he came on, but then there was no Terrence Steele. And if you think about it, during the offseason, Terrence Steele was out, Zach Martin was out, and really early in training camp, there was no Zach Martin, and then Tyler Smith got hurt. So really, this week, kind of the first full practice in eons that the top 5 offensive linemen have practiced together.
That says a lot about what we've been going through for, 2 years?
And sort of
Jeez.
somewhat surviving, by the way.
with 12 wins.
Because we saw what's been happening to teams with backup offensive linemen in there when it's multiple backup offensive linemen. So yeah, this is, to me, open up the playbook. Let's go.
Now we have a question already about some of this. So Rusty from Omaha wants to know, what is the likelihood of Tyrone Smith, Zach Martin being effective against the 49ers top-tier D-line and Bosa?
Well, if they're listed as fully practicing, then they should be ready to go. I think Zach for sure. Tyron hasn't played in a couple weeks. But a little bit of Tyron, to me, is better than anybody else you put out there.
I agree. I agree with that 100%.
Whoever is 100% healthy, right?
Especially because they're also keeping in mind the big picture of the season. They're not going to put Tyron out there if he's not ready to go, risking a further injury that's going to put him out for multiple weeks. They're going to make sure he's going. As important as we all are going to make this game out to be, it is still week 5.
And it's still just a measuring point. That's all it is. So it's not just for the team, but also for Tyron. See where he's at. Who's he going up against?
Well,
the right side, let's see if they list right and left on their deal. So he's on the left side, so it'd be the right defensive end by the name of Nick Bosa.
How about that?
That'd be nice.
they'll line Bosa up both sides.
Yeah. They'll kind of move him around to find.
So if it's
where
not
the
Bosa,
soft
then
spot.
if it's not Bosa, then it's
Cleveland Farrell.
Farrell.
It was a first-round pick of Vegas, 4th pick in the draft 4 years ago, and didn't do much in Vegas. And he's actually starting here in San Francisco. But Drake Jackson is another guy who was their second-round pick last year, who's an edge guy.
You don't want to mention Kerry Hyder?
Well, Kerry Hyder too. That's right. Former
Passed
Texas
through
Tech
here.
Red Raider out of Austin, Texas, and got a cup of coffee here with the Cowboys. He's put together a nice career.
And I would imagine, with their linebackers, they'll be shooting those guys.
Oh, no doubt.
Greenlaw for sure. But yeah, it would be nice to have everybody back there. And now it's sort of like, its talent is one thing, but the communication is another too, right? Those guys play next to each other, and they kind of know what each other's doing and communicating. And I mean, think about it. That Arizona game, they had 2 guys on the practice squad starting their first NFL games. And I think that limits what you can do offensively. So the fact that game was 21-16 before they gave up a 69-yard completion to set up the winning touch or the clinching touchdown, kind of bodes well to what they almost pulled off.
And any quarterback is human. When you know that you've got some guys out there that are not quite up to sniff. You know what I mean? As a quarterback, you got to have one eye here and one eye here while you're trying to keep yourself on your wide receivers. That's a tough thing to do. You know that their mistakes are probably going to be made on certain plays, and you're going to try to account for that yourself as an individual. But it's hard to do that when you've got 3 linemen out, and you got to depend on them to do what they have to do while you can keep your timing down the field. It's a tough deal.
Absolutely.
Tough deal.
Especially when 2 of them are coming right at you.
Right
up the middle,
at you.
Right?
Yeah.
So anyway, this kind of gives you a little bit more, feel good about potential of this offense.
What would you say is the X factor for the Cowboys in this game?
That's a good question, William. Such a good question.
You want to ponder it for a little bit?
Either side of the ball?
Yeah.
No, I think. Well, no, I'd be giving away my.
I don't want to give. I hesitated because I didn't want to.
Well, then your X factor is not Micah Parsons because you can't pick
It is
him.
not Michael
So
Parsons.
your X factor is Michael Parsons.
Yeah, that's not an X factor. That's A through Z factor. Come on.
Michael Parsons. He's got to have a big game. And you know what? And this got lost, I think, in the shuffle of talking about everything McCaffrey's doing this year, Brock Purdy. But in the playoff game last year that the Cowboys lost 19-12, by the way, that was holding the 49ers to their fewest points in like the last 10 games or so. And certainly the fewest points and the fewest points in their first 2 playoff games. I mean, count those in too until they ran out of quarterbacks in the NFC title game. McCaffrey had 10 carries in that playoff game for 35 yards, 6 catches for 22 yards. So he had 16 touches for 57 yards. They shut him down. Now, I don't know if he was coming off an injury back then. I remember he
wasn't quite as healthy as he is right now.
Right, yeah. But they did a number on him and held San Francisco to 19 points. So if the offense had just done
I was going to say, the problem was that they held us to our lowest output as well.
Yeah, 12.
Yeah. And it wasn't just, you could look at numbers and you could just put it out there. But a couple of those carries and catches, they moved the chains in some very crucial points of the ball game.
Here's my note. So the Cowboys were one of 2 teams holding San Francisco to fewer than 30 points in the last 10 games. The final 3 games of 2022, 3 playoff games, and 4 already this season. So they've been scoring.
The other thing in that game, Elijah Mitchell had 14 carries for 51 yards. So he was...
That's the one we couldn't hold.
14 for 51.
He kept the chains moving. I know those chains kept moving, and maybe it wasn't McCaffrey, but I know
that's
they
still
kept
under
it moving.
4 yards a carry, but
Important yards.
And if I remember right, they only scored 1 touchdown.
Well, when you look at only putting out 12 points yourself, every yard is crucial.
Absolutely, and you got to score. So, and again, and you know, I'm not big on who do they play, because you can only play who they tell you to play. But with Washington's loss last night, the 4 teams they've played now have a combined record of 6-11, and the best record's 2-2. So they haven't played anybody with a winning record yet.
They're just like us.
Yep.
This matchup is razor thin in the difference. Razor thin. I'm loving it, especially now that we have all our linemen back. This is really going to be a good game. It will be important, but it won't be the end of the season. I was telling Spags or someone, we still have to play the Chargers afterwards on Monday night.
Yeah.
In L.A.
You know, and
so this season keeps on going.
And I thought Jerry kept
Right.
it in perspective this morning. He said this is a tremendous game for us to see how we stack up against them.
That's it.
Right? So.
And then the next game, we'll see how well we bounce back.
Yeah.
And how well we play on the road, 2 games in a row. And so there's always a measuring stick that we have this early in the season.
Speaking of the road, they've been pretty dominant at home. Last year they went 8-1 at home, and then 2 playoff games they won, and then this year they're 2-0 at home. So 10-1, including, or actually 12-1, including the playoffs and since the start of 2022.
Mickey, how have the Cowboys been at home?
They've won 10 straight.
Yep, we're on a 10-game win streak right now.
There's my confirmation right there.
So there, in a nutshell, is how important Sunday night is.
Right.
If you're looking ahead to the possibilities in the playoffs,
Further
and if
implications,
if you
right?
can have home field advantage in the playoffs, it can help you out immensely.
It can.
Yeah.
But it's not. It's not
the determining factor.
Matter of fact, it
that's
feels
right,
so
because they
good to
did
go
play here
somewhere
2
else
years
and
ago.
kick their ass. Just that feeling is amazing. When you do that, you feel a lot better about having home field advantage.
My favorite game I've ever watched, I think my favorite Cowboy game I ever watched was in San Francisco, NFC Championship game, 1992 season, a 30-20 win.
So the Cowboys won that on the road. The previous one they lost on the road. And the next one after that, to them, they lost on the road in 94. And then 2022 season.
Right. But if you go all the way back to the
70s.
to the 70s,
We gotta get. I knew that was coming. I knew that was coming.
Memory lane.
there was a win
was trying to tease
where
this
Roger
yesterday.
Staubach came off the bench in the final 2 minutes of the game and threw 2 touchdown passes. And Tony Fritsch had a behind-the-back onside kick that was recovered by the Cowboys.
It was
in a
behind the
30 to
calf.
28,
Behind
whatever.
the calf.
Yeah.
You can't go behind the back on a kick. It was behind the.
Although I think home
Behind
field,
the heel.
Behind the heel.
home field advantage at Candlestick was a little different than Levi Stadium.
Yeah, no doubt.
With that crappy
That might have been
grass.
Kezar Stadium back then.
It
in
probably was in
1971.
It was AstroTurf, huh?
I think so.
Yeah, it was AstroTurf.
I think so. Yeah.
Kezar was?
I think. In 71, I think that was.
I think the old NFL Films footage was AstroTurf that
Yeah.
Larry Cole was rolling around.
Yeah, that
on
was
the ground
AstroTurf.
on. Yep. All right, we continue with more mix shots in just a moment.
There was no turf at Candlestick.
I'm Dak Prescott, quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys.
And they snap it to Prescott, who looks right. It's not there. He escapes left. He'll run for a first down.
Just like football, when it comes to crypto, it's important to have a team you can trust. With blockchain.com, I know I'm in good hands. Since 2011, they've been trusted by millions around the world to buy, sell, and trade cryptocurrency.
Prescott's going to run this himself. Run it up the middle, and he scores.
Whether you're new to crypto or an active trader, they've got you covered. What are you waiting for? Get started at blockchain.com.
You know that sound anywhere. It's the crisp crunch of that first nacho chip. With its perfect cheese to sour cream ratio sitting atop a layer of delicious beans, it's a sip away from perfection. That's what we're looking for. Add a delicious, refreshing Pepsi and we've achieved absolute nacho nirvana. Because while you can pile those nachos high with every spicy, cheesy, savory topping, there's no topping a cool Pepsi finish. Nachos, better with Pepsi. That's what I like.
The Medal of Honor is our country's highest military award for valor in combat. More than 40 million individuals have served in the armed forces since the Civil War. Fewer than 4,000 have received the Medal of Honor. The National Medal of Honor Museum will be a place to preserve these legacies and inspire America. It's being built right next door to the Dallas Cowboys in Texas. Help us honor our country's greatest heroes. Learn more and get involved at mohmuseum.org.
Cowboys football and Miller Lite. What a pairing. Can cracks at kickoff. Tailgates going way past postgame. Sunday night overtimes followed by Monday morning swagger. Brisket in the smoker. Miller Lite in the cooler. America's team playing America's greatest sport. Miller Lite, the only beer of the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas Cowboys football tastes like Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. 2023 Miller Brewing Company, Fort Worth, Texas.
Back to Mick Shots.
K-Post Roofing and Waterproofing, the official roofer of the Dallas Cowboys. You guys, we have a fun little note from our friend Nathaniel in San Francisco.
Oh, okay.
Is he there right now?
I think he's Nate and Frisco's cousin.
Yes,
I think
yes.
so.
The
That's
more
who
the
it
more
is.
intelligent cousin.
Yes. I can see picture him now. He's got glasses on, readers on, he's looking at his computer. Yes.
Exactly.
Okay, yeah.
Well, he says the great thing about this game is the coaches don't have to overcoach.
Can you do it in Nathaniel in San Francisco's accent?
I'll work
He
on
has
it. I'll
an
work on
accent?
it.
How do you know he has an accent?
I can just picture
It's
it.
not a phone call. He texted.
How about we have him call in? Come on, let's call in Nathaniel.
What
in
was
San
it? What was it
Francisco.
again? What was the question again?
It wasn't a question. It was
a remark, yeah.
little statement. The great thing about this game is the coaches don't have to overcoach.
They really don't. They really don't.
Very true.
Just
trying to
roll
do
the
it.
ball out.
Well, this is still one of those games. They still don't want to show everything. You know, if you're a coach, do you come out, both barrels blazing? Do you come out with everything?
Yeah, save the Statue of Liberty for the playoffs.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Do you come out with another special teams play? I don't know. To me, I'm going to see if we can beat them just with what we have. I'm not going to try and get too cute, and because cute can come later. We don't need cute right now. It doesn't show. It doesn't prove.
We need
anything.
brawn.
We need to show we can just whoop their asses. That's it.
Brawn.
That's it.
Ice bag game.
All right.
And by the way, we need to, after Everest and I did our Star Sports Tour appearance, this guy came up to me from New Hampshire. And he said that he listens to us religiously because this is one of their breaks at work, and they sit around whatever they pull it up on and listen to Mick Shots.
Oh, wow.
Love it.
That.
Wow.
All the way to New Hampshire.
That's right. Damn, that's up there, buddy.
Appreciate
that's up there.
If you have an X factor in this game, hit us up on X.
Yeah, there you go.
That was great, Bill.
Very nice. Right.
Way to go.
He didn't sound comfortable saying it, but that was good. That was good.
He was a little skeptical.
It was.
My X factor is Tony Pollard.
Okay. Which?
Tony Pollard, what did he do in the playoff game in January?
He got hurt.
He
the
got
play
hurt after,
before the significant interception.
That's right.
And I think it was 6 carries that he had in that game.
I think you're right.
The previous January at AT&T Stadium, I believe it was 4 carries in that game. So I think if Tony Pollard can be the Tony Pollard we know he can be and stay healthy and they can use him like they want to use him, that he could be the X factor in this game.
I think that's a very good point.
He can be the Cowboys' Christian McCaffrey.
Because if
and
they
I'm talking about not just running, but catching the ball.
He clearly can be that.
Right?
Yes. Oh, that's not no doubt in my mind that he could be that.
I think that is what he can be here.
Because they need to give them something else to worry about.
My X factor would be Tyron Smith. I think the more comfortable Dak feels back there, I think he has a lot to do with that. That's your blind side. Whenever we're doing well, we have time to pass the ball. And whenever we have time to pass the ball, he feels comfortable that he doesn't have to worry about his backside. And I think Tyron being there, not only just for pass protection, but we like to attack the corners. We like to attack the outside in our running game. I think that'll be a nice change for us to go that way.
Because they need to pop one.
They do.
With Pollard. And that really has
kind of like what San Francisco, they popped one on a scramble drill and got the ball to Kittle on that long play. That was a huge play in that game, in the playoff game. In a game where it's tight going back and forth, to have a 50-yard play can flip the field and get momentum on your side can be a huge factor in the game.
No doubt.
So Pollard's long run is 31 yards. And reception is 19. So they need to pop a 50-yarder on him. By God.
I don't think they're going to be going for big plays. I think we're going to continue grinding.
Well, you can grind and have a
number one
40-yard
percentage in the league.
Yeah.
Keep those third downs going.
48.9% conversions on third down.
Which brings us to another X factor. And by the way, the definition of an X factor, a variable in a given situation that could have the most significant impact on the outcome. So,
like I said, Tyron Smith.
Cowboys number 1 in third down percentage on offense. What are they in the red zone? 30th. So the other thing, like the Niners last year, they had the long pass to Kittle. When they did get into the red zone, they got the penalty that helped them, that factored in. That was an X factor. So they were able to get the ball in the end zone.
Officials are going to be X factors.
So some success in the red zone.
Mine's going to be Deron Bland because I know they're going to run the ball with McCaffrey a lot. However, Brock Purdy, he's going to make some of those throws to the wide receivers. And you got to have Deron Bland, some guys out there looking out for a potential pick.
And having said that, Ayuk has been balling.
Exactly.
We're worried about Debo. Ayuk has been balling. I think he has some career, right now he's having this career high.
Career high against Arizona. He has ranks 5th in the league in explosive plays, leads the league in yards per route run, and he has 0 drops so far this season.
Well, he had a 42-yard catch, so that helped his 18.8-yard average per catch. He's only got 17 catches in 4 games. So, but they got to watch for the that big play.
It's the big plays.
Right? Because McCaffrey's actually their leading receiver with 18. I'm sticking with the linebacker.
Mm-hmm.
The linebacker. That's a new position on the Cowboys.
That's right.
depth chart. Where's the linebacker going to?
And that's the other part. Get them all over the place.
Would you want to match him up against McCaffrey?
Keep the linebacker after the Christian.
Would you want to? Yeah. Would you just
catch that?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
He's talking about being hesitant saying something.
Yeah, he's Catholic. He's Catholic. He's Catholic.
I can get away with it.
So you want to line him up wherever's convenient.
Wherever you think you've got a weakness. If that's up the middle.
Do you think they have a weakness at left tackle?
Yes, I do.
Trent Williams.
Especially if they make him stay on the line of scrimmage.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'm sure coaches have come up to the referees and brought this point up.
I don't think it's helped. I
That's
watched two
That's
of their
my
games, and he is never more than, closer than 3
And
yards.
you go back to
the line of
last year.
scrimmage.
It's the same thing, going back to our game.
What that little toe dig is.
Is that a Mick shot?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, my
Let's hear about
God.
it.
Please, Chris. Jeez, he's still on the road.
Well,
maybe not.
Maybe not.
And I think the defensive guys recognize that, too.
Mm-hmm.
They see that toe.
The toe dig?
Yeah.
What does that tip them off to? That it's going to be a pass or a run or what? What do you think?
The snap's coming.
Yeah.
Okay.
It should help. It should help.
That's their silent count.
Well,
That's why
yeah,
it's away.
I guess.
Yeah.
But it shouldn't be. It should be a false start to me. I mean, if you're lined up and all you do is do this with your elbow, throw the flag.
So
right?
then,
You can't
if he
blink.
has he caused a defender to jump off sides and they call it against the defense?
That part I
See,
do.
that's what
Because
they
it
need to
seems
do.
like you should just go ahead and test the referee, push it. You know what I mean? When he does that, you take off. Hey, ref, he moved.
Yeah.
That
And you don't even have to go all the way across the line of scrimmage where you would be in the neutral zone. You could just, when you see that toe dig, just go, fake like you're going
There you
forward.
go.
And then it looks like to the
No
officials
one's.
that
I don't think
it was a
anyone's
false
done
start.
that.
I'm going to chart toe digs. It's going to be the next gen stat.
All right, we continue with our picks to click and our predictions when we come back here on Mick Shots.
The Medal of Honor is our country's highest military award for valor in combat. More than 40 million individuals have served in the armed forces since the Civil War. Fewer than 4,000 have received the Medal of Honor. The National Medal of Honor Museum will be a place to preserve these legacies and inspire America. It's being built right next door to the Dallas Cowboys in Texas. Help us honor our country's greatest heroes. Learn more and get involved at mohmuseum.org.
Cowboys football and Miller Lite. What a pairing. Can cracks at kickoff. Tailgates going way past postgame. Sunday night overtimes followed by Monday morning swagger. Brisket in the smoker. Miller Lite in the cooler. America's team playing America's greatest sport. Miller Lite, the only beer of the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas Cowboys football tastes like Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. 2023 Miller Brewing Company, Fort Worth, Texas.
I'm Dak Prescott, quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys.
And they snap it to Prescott, who looks right. It's not there. He escapes left. He'll run for a first down.
Just like football, when it comes to crypto, it's important to have a team you can trust. With blockchain.com, I know I'm in good hands. Since 2011, they've been trusted by millions around the world to buy, sell, and trade cryptocurrency.
Prescott's going to run this himself. Run it up the middle, and he scores.
Whether you're new to crypto or an active trader, they've got you covered. What are you waiting for? Get started at blockchain.com.
You know that sound anywhere. It's the crisp crunch of that first nacho chip. With its perfect cheese to sour cream ratio sitting atop a layer of delicious beans, it's a sip away from perfection. That's what we're looking for. Add a delicious, refreshing Pepsi and we've achieved absolute nacho nirvana. Because while you can pile those nachos high with every spicy, cheesy, savory topping, there's no topping a cool Pepsi finish. Nachos, better with Pepsi. That's what I like.
Back to Mick Shots.
Mark your calendars and get your Lederhosen and Steins ready. Frisco Oktoberfest officially returns for their 4th annual celebration on Saturday, October 7th at the Star in Frisco, featuring Bavarian-inspired events, delicious food and drink, and plenty of great live entertainment. Visit thestardistrict.com/events for more info.
Danish. I love Danish. Would that be part of that?
Is the Stein and the Lederhosen different?
I know
they
the
the same?
Lederhosen is the outfit. I looked it up.
Oh, okay.
It's like the
little skirt thing.
It's actually like a little short set that it's like an overall type of.
With the yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like what Emmett wore on when he was drafted at the Star, the polka dot.
But not polka dots, right?
Okay, that's a good one. That's funny.
All right, final 10 minutes here of this week as we preview Cowboys, Niners. One little note. I, off the top, said this is my favorite Friday of the year, obviously, because it's the day before the Texas OU game, and I have to call it Texas OU because Texas won last year.
Mm-hmm.
You know, going back in the storied history of that rivalry, Everson has a fond memory of the Texas Longhorns. Don't you, Everson?
Do I?
You have is it a family
tell.
member who you played for the Longhorns? At one
No,
point?
he didn't play for him. He just loves them. He went to school there. He graduated from UT.
Are
My
you
baby
related?
brother.
I mentioned Herky Walls the other day.
Oh, yeah, my cousin. I'm sorry. Yeah. Yeah.
Herky Walls in the Texas Longhorns.
11 touchdowns in 1980. Hell of a player. One of the fastest men in the world.
That's right. Yeah.
That's why I don't have any speed.
You know how many?
He took all of that. He took it all.
You know how many yards a catch Herky Walls had as a collegian at University of Texas?
20.
25 in his career. He averaged 25 yards a reception, and in one season it was 28 yards and 10 touchdowns. It wasn't just on 10 receptions or something.
No, he had I remember he had Sun Bowl. He had a kickoff return or a punt return.
First team All Southwest Conference back in the day.
No, he was the man.
Yep,
he was
that's
the
your
man.
tie-in.
He would have made the Olympics, but you had 3 guys pass him up in the last 10 yards of the 200 meters.
Well, in the it would have been the Southwest Conference meet, the 60 meters. He beat Curtis Dickey and Carl Lewis.
Man.
So,
Yeah. He couldn't hold on for the 200.
Not many people have beaten
hold on
Carl
for the
Lewis,
200.
right?
Yeah, that's right.
Without steroids.
Well, thank you for that.
And
Will.
by the way, in
Appreciate
Herky,
that.
in the Arena Football Hall of Fame.
In Orlando. That's right. Where he resides to this day. He's a pastor.
Yep.
Yeah.
So-
And he has a son. I believe his name is Terrence. And Terrence was doing some good stuff as
All
well.
right. All right. So
yeah.
there's
Great.
your.
Thank you for that, William. Appreciate that, buddy.
Did that just for you. Okay. Be kind to my Longhorn friends.
And by the way, before we start our picks to click, everybody's made the people in San Francisco, San Jose, just this whole thing with Trey Lance. I can't believe how many stories have been written about that with ha, ha, ha. They act like Trey Lance knew what was going on. They're picking his brain. And it's like, okay, enough is enough. My question is, have the 49ers picked Anthony Brown's brain? Because
They haven't?
he is on the 53-man roster, by the
Wow.
way, as the backup right cornerback.
I'm sure they have.
But I didn't see anybody write about it.
That's a good point.
That's not as juicy.
Yeah.
It's not as juicy.
Not as juicy
How
as
did
Trey
it help the
Lance.
Patriots last week to pick Will Greer's
Yeah,
brain?
that helped.
How'd that turn out?
That turned out real well, didn't it? Yeah.
All right, it's pick to click time and picks for the game. Who wants to go first?
No pod pick?
Ever since.
Oh, we do have a pod pick. Let's do the pod pick first.
What is it?
Okay.
All right, what's our pod pick?
The pod pick is who has the most receptions in this game, either Cowboys or Niners. Either team. You can pick a player from either team who has the most receptions. What individual?
What if it's my pick to click also?
Or you don't have to reveal that. You can just
I can't
answer
double
it
down
and
right away?
You don't have to.
Okay.
But if it's, well, who wants to go first on that?
I will.
Okay, go.
McCaffrey.
you got McCaffrey as your pod
pick. Yes,
pod
catching
pick.
the most
receptions.
Most receptions. Yes.
Okay.
Savannah.
That's the easy one. Is McCaffrey.
I'm gonna go CeeDee Lamb.
Okay. CeeDee Lamb. All right. Very good.
I am going to go Brandon Cooks.
You'll go Brandon Cooks. Can I say McCaffrey too?
Yeah.
Okay. I got Christian McCaffrey. Okay. That took care of the pod pick.
All
Okay.
right.
Okay. And now your pick to click. Your personal pick to click and pick to win the game.
I will go first.
Oh, wait. You want to reveal you won last week, right?
Yes, I did win last week. And it was easy win. You guys thought it was going to be a close game. For once, I believed in the Cowboys, and they played the way I believed. So I got 30-17. What was the pod pick last week?
I don't know, but 17 kind
It
of
was
cancels out
first-
30.
No, it doesn't.
There was a
no, it
rushing
doesn't.
touchdown.
Yeah, first rushing touchdown.
Yeah, and I got that. It was Hunter Lipke.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Did he?
No.
I didn't write that down. I didn't write that down.
If y'all don't remember, then I must have.
No, you said Zeke or Tony Pollard, right?
I'm sure I picked Hunter Lipke, but go ahead.
No, he said Tony. He probably said Tony Pollard. Okay. So I'm going to go with this. It's going to be a tough game. I think the Cowboys are going to do what they have to do. They're going to play it straight, just the way they've been doing it the first 4 games this season. I've got the Cowboys 24-21. And it's a tough one, but I'm going with, if it's okay, I'm going with Tony Pollard as my pick to click.
Okay. All right.
Well, you got to go first.
So that was your
yeah.
X factor. Mm-hmm. No, we had the same X factor there.
No. Did I?
Well, I mean, you said earlier in the show that you didn't want to reveal your X factor.
Right,
You said Tony Pollard for click to pick?
I did.
Okay.
I did.
Okay.
I
Okay.
did.
24-21, Tony Pollard.
See, I trust Savannah keeping notes, not you.
Hey, man.
Got
come
it all
on,
written
come
down.
on.
Savannah, you want to go next?
Sure.
Okay.
My click to pick. Well, first let's start with the score. I think this is going to be a close game.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's going to be a close game. I'm going to go 28-27.
Damn.
And who's winning?
Cowboys.
Okay.
Okay.
I think Brandon Aubrey might just do it for us in the very end.
Okay.
We're going to see. I will go with my click to pick, DeMarcus Lawrence.
All right. D-Law.
Good one. Good one. Good one.
In the media presser yesterday with players, he said, "This is personal," and he had the energy right there. So I think he's going to do some.
And he played
stuff for
well.
us.
He played well in the playoff game.
Exactly.
Especially when they asked him about the 49ers don't turn the ball over very much, and you guys get a lot of takeaways. They asked him what he thought about it. He goes, "Just go get it."
He's ready. He's ready.
Okay.
Say no more.
D-Law.
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 All right. I'm doubling down on my pod pick, Brandon Cooks. And my score is Cowboys 26, San Francisco 24.
26-24. Is that 4 field goals for Brandon Aubrey, or are we doing something crazy
I think it's
with
one field goal and a
safety in
safety,
there?
yeah.
Okay.
Well, the way our
Or a
red
missed
zone
extra
is,
point.
it could be 4 field goals. As long as we win, I don't care the way our red zone is going.
As long as you hold them to 24, which would be the first time they've held under 30 this year.
Oh, that's right. They've got 30 or more points in all 4 games they played.
30, 30, 30, and 35.
Okay. I've got a question before I make my pick to win.
What, we got to help you out?
Well, my
Or is this
score
a
is the
question for
same.
my
Need
guys in New
confirmation.
My
Hampshire.
score is the same as someone who has already predicted the score.
That's all right.
That's okay. All right. Well, on this Texas OU weekend, I hearken back to one of the greatest individual performances in the history of that storied rivalry.
You hearkened?
I go back
We going back to Joe Washington or something?
to a Dallas Cowboy receiver by the name of C.D. Lamb.
Yeah.
If you look it up on YouTube, you want to see the definition of yards after catch, yak yards. Go watch C.D. Lamb against the Longhorns, whatever year that was.
That was tough. I remember.
And he is going to be so motivated by what he sees on Saturday at the Cotton Bowl that C.D. Lamb is the pick to click against the 49ers on Sunday night. And he will soar high above Diamador Lenore in the back of the end zone to make the game-winning catch. The game-winning catch.
This is going to be the catch, the new catch.
The new
catch, the CD catch.
Not nearly a significant
to
catch.
win the game.
Boomer Sooner.
28-27, which was the same score as that infamous game in 1981, a game in which the great Everson Walls had 2 interceptions.
And the fumble recovery.
No one talks about that.
No one talks about it.
There it is, an iconic moment in the Cowboys-Niners rivalry, authored by C.D. Lamb on Sunday Night Football.
That was a beautiful story, Bill.
That was. The Hearkening was amazing.
I wonder why.
Hearkening.
Wonder why
Spot on.
no one calls it the catch for Alvin Harper, by the way.
Yeah, well, you can.
Yeah, well, he went like 80 yards or something, didn't he?
All right. Here's your word for the day, Everson.
70.
Yes, sir, Bill. I'm
Your
putting that
word
down.
for the day is hearken back. mention or remember something from the past. Harkened back to. If we just harkened back to 1981, a moment that you never want to harken back to.
You didn't read that on the computer. You read that from your Webster's actual dictionary with pages. That's how old this is. How old that word is.
I've got to come up.
You actually read it from a Webster's dictionary.
There's an origin.
Encyclopedia.
Here's the origin of harken back. Old English.
See there? That's you.
Related to
That's
hark.
you.
I'm Old English.
So I have to come up with a header for Mick shots. Mm-hmm. Should I use hearkening back?
Please do.
Hearkening
Please do.
back.
Harken,
Let's do
harken
it.
back. That's right.
great.
All right. You just saved me like 3 minutes having to think.
All right. That does it for another week of podcasting here on Mick Shots. For Everson, for Savannah, for Mick. This is the Old Englishman signing off.
Go Cowboys.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this,